Coming up on the Fish Hunt Forever podcast.
If you can shoot 200 at your farm, you should be practicing at 400 and 500 yards to make that 200-yard shot a chip shot.
Your pistol that you have drops in, and it essentially converts it into a rifle.
All right, duck hunters, the day we've been waiting for, it's finally here.
This is the Fish Hunt Forever podcast, formerly Sporting Journal Radio, presented by OnX. Know where you stand with OnX.
All right, welcome to the show. We're in Eau Claire, Wisconsin right now for the 2025 annual conference for the Association of Great Lakes Outdoor Writers. We're at the Metropolis, which, Dan, you know, we go to these conferences a lot of times. We're doing stuff in the outdoors, which we did. We went fishing here on Lake Wissota, which was a lot of fun, but we also have go-karts.
Yeah, it says behind us, this is where the fun never stops. I'm going to disagree because the fun stopped when the Dairy Queen right here closed. So I'm angry.
This place has a Dairy Queen in it. It's just not open right now.
It might as well not.
It's probably self-serve.
Well, so speaking of that, apparently my brother-in-law used to work at Dairy Queen.
Okay.
And so my sister was saying, well, just call him. He can probably walk you through how to fire up everything and make some ice cream. So I might be getting a phone call pretty quick.
We're just going to make this podcast go as long as possible until the Dairy Queen opens.
No, because the duck opener's coming up. We got to get home.
Well, the Dairy Queen's going to be open before the duck opens.
Do we have confirmation of that?
No, but I sure hope so, because that's a couple of days away.
It is a little off-season for the Metropolis here, so I don't know if they're just going to bring in a 14-year-old to make ice cream for a bunch of outdoor riders.
Well, there's a water park here, too,
Yeah.
and they told me that the water park's going to open on Thursday.
Well, maybe they open Thursday to Sunday or something.
Yeah, I bet
that
that's
could
what
be.
it is. Because it is late September.
Yeah.
Kids are back in school.
Not an ideal time for,
Right.
definitely shoulder season for a family fun park.
Perfect for us, though, because we're using up all the conference rooms. They've got a big banquet hall where we've been having our meals. It's been a good conference.
Food's been really good. That's
Yeah.
a big thing at these. And with cheese curds the other day. We've had some spotted cows, some Miller Lights, some Liney's.
Yeah, cheese curd and brats for the first night.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about this conference. Is the first night, usually whoever the host destination is, they had to close. They're doing some work, cutting some metal. But they try to give us a taste of the local food. Last year we were in Kentucky Lake. We had frog legs and hush puppies and really, really good. Now we're in Wisconsin, so we had beer and beer brats and cheese curds. Pretty good. And the Packers lost. It was great.
Perfect. So we're going to talk a little bit about our experience so far here in Eau Claire. We went fishing on Lake Wissota, and we had a great day on the water. Like, we caught a lot of fish. We caught a lot of different species. The weather was great, so we're going to tell you a little bit more about that. Also, the duck opener is taking place this weekend, so we'll kind of break down what I think the opener is going to look like, or what we think the opener is going to look like. Any potential changes that you need to know about out there. There are some changes in the upland world. Maybe some of you have already heard about these changes in Minnesota, but if you haven't done any grouse hunting in northern Minnesota, there is one change that you're going to want to know about. We'll tell you about that here in a little bit. And we're just going to try to randomly bring some of the people in to the show that are out here.
Sure. See if we can get anyone to drive in on a go-kart or something, or trade people interviews for their arcade tickets.
All right, Dan, who are the sponsors this week on the show?
Lake of the Woods Tourism. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world. Plan a trip for this summer or winter at lakeofthewoodsmn.com. On X Hunt, see private landbounders, offline maps, and more. Take 20% off a new membership with the code SJR20. Haybell Heights Campground and Resort, Fish Devil's Lake. This fall or winter, learn more at haybellheights.com. Tasman Lake Lodge, catch world record lake trout and giant pike. It's Saskatchewan's Tasman Lake. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. Prairie Sportsman, the new season's over, but you can watch episodes anytime at the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. And Trails End Outfitters, Trophy Bear, Walleyes, and Whitetails in Saskatchewan. Visit trailsendoutfitters.com.
All right, it's time for headlines. Headlines are brought to you by Trails End Outfitters, offering guided whitetail and black bear hunting in northern Saskatchewan. Also guided fishing on Saskatchewan's legendary Tobin Lake. Find out more at trailsendoutfitters.com. So this is kind of an interesting story coming out of Minnesota, Dan. This September, the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, Department of Ag, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, their Forest Service will complete a joint biological control effort to slow the spread of emerald ash borer.
About time.
Big deal. Guess how they're doing it? Don't look at my notes. Don't cheat.
Agent Orange.
Close. Dang. Wasps.
Oh, no.
They're releasing wasps
Oh, no.
to control
The band?
them. Yes, the band is going to be
for
playing, and the noise is going to scare them all away.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily the noise.
The The wasp, this effort known as the parasitoid wasp program involves the release of 3 species of non-stinging wasps.
Oh, then we're fine. Well, then it's definitely the band.
To target emerald ash borer at different life stages, helping slow the spread of them without harming other species. They started this in 2010, and since then the program has expanded to 55 release sites in EAB-infested areas in the state. It's the only biological control that they use for emerald ash borer at the forest landscape level in the state of Minnesota.
It's interesting. There's actually on our way to church Monday, not Monday, Sunday. That's the day you go to church.
Right.
We're in
Well,
Woodbury.
you might have gone on Monday.
I
too.
didn't. I was here. And we were driving through a part of Woodbury that I hadn't been to in a number of years because there was some road construction and a lot of the trees were down and they're ash trees.
Oh, really?
They're getting eaten up, and you start to realize how many ash trees are in Woodbury even that are getting affected. So it's interesting. So what do the wasps eat the?
I suppose.
I mean, they're not stinging them.
Yeah.
Or it is, back to my theory, it is the band and the quality of the music will scale ash borers. And humans might go extinct too.
In 2025, 5,424 wasps were released in a 200-acre area that was infested in the Chippewa National Forest.
That was called Moondance Jam.
A total of 8,480 wasps have been released over the last 2 summers, and currently there are no new infestation areas within the forest. So
Because Moondance is no longer.
seems like it's actually working, which is good news. All right, duck hunters, day we've been waiting for. It's finally here this weekend, the Minnesota Waterfowl Opener. Are you excited?
Is
Dan?
it October 10th? Oh, wait. Our season opens in September still.
Hashtag make duck season late
Yeah.
again.
Well, I am excited because we are going to duck hunt. It's going to be fun. We've got some family coming out. We've got some family that I've never duck hunted with actually coming out. So that's going to be kind of fun. Your parents are going to come hang out with us. And
We're going to have a full house.
yeah, and then
I'll be sleeping on the floor.
the TV show. Yep. And then I'm just making a whole bunch of pop culture references today. It's fun. And then we're going to jet up to
Full
Canada.
House, the TV show. I
You just got
just
that?
got that. yeah.
Nice.
Well, I don't normally
Wake
listen
up.
to you very much.
That's fine. Just good radio host just sits there and waits for his turn to talk.
That's right. So we're gonna have a great time. It's busy though because we're here in Eau Claire till Friday. Drive home, packed house Saturday, Sunday. Hopefully shoot some ducks, maybe a goose or 2,
Yeah.
and then pack up and head to Saskatchewan right after.
Hopefully Monday, yeah. Yeah. So we'll,
that. It's that time of year.
why not? Let's sleep. We'll sleep in the winter.
That's right.
Sleep when it freezes.
So I will say, for us in the Central Zone, we do get to hunt till November 30th at least this year.
Oh, that's okay, yeah. I thought you was thinking flyway. It's like, we're not in the Central Flyway.
Yeah. Did you just figure that out, Dan?
Well, it wasn't a joke. Maybe it was a joke. Great show.
This whole show is a joke most of the time.
The fun never stops. Oh, it stopped.
So the North Zone goes September 27 and November 25. Central, we got that split from October 5th to October 11th, and we can go to November 30th, which isn't bad. It would be nice, usually in early December, if we have a later freeze up. We usually have some mallards around.
Always do.
South Zone goes to December 7th, so not terrible dates this year. I'm a proponent of pushing the opener back into October, but at least if we can go to the end of November, early December, I don't mind it as much.
It's better. It's better.
And for Canada geese, of course, we can go later as well. December 31st in the Central Zone for Canada geese this year, and actually January 7th for the South Zone.
That's cool. You can shoot a goose after pheasants.
Yeah,
That's that's not bad.
not bad.
We're getting better.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
Getting better.
Yeah. There is a change for. Well, I want to get to upland in a second. Let's talk about ducks real quick.
I think this guy's gonna fire up some go-karts.
Sweet. We might have to pause the podcast and jump in.
Yeah.
4 mallards, of course, 2 hens, 3 wood ducks, 2 redheads, 2 cans, 2 black ducks, 2 pintails. Bluebills, they still have the kind of the weird deal where you can shoot 1 early, 2 late. Depends on which zone you're in, depending on the dates, so make sure you check the regs. Dan,
Yes.
5 mergs for you.
Sweet. Hey, they don't taste as bad as everyone thinks they do. Hot take. I will swear by that. Put them in a crock pot with a bunch of other ducks. You won't know which one's a merganser. I promise.
Spruce grouse limit has changed. So it's
Smart.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because they're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When we filmed where were we? Up by Lake of the Woods. We filmed a grouse episode a couple years ago, and we were talking to the DNR about it up there. And we were actually kind of hoping to shoot a spruce grouse. I've never shot one.
Yeah.
Most people nowadays, because it's that darker meat, it doesn't look like a rough grouse. They're not as good to eat. They're very dumb. So they can be exploited. So a lot of people think that they could be more of a trophy bird, and which honestly, I'd love to put one on the wall.
Absolutely,
I think they're cool.
Really neat, really neat grouse. But yeah, you might as well go shoot one and then go shoot your rough grouse. And we talked about that up there in that episode. We were hoping to do that and show people, hey, this is how you should do it. Instead, we just didn't. Well, we just got shot the bird there.
Yeah.
So we didn't shoot a bird on that trip. But we just got shot.
Thanks
the
for
bird
calling us number one.
By one of our favorite AGLOW members.
Absolutely. It's all love around here at the AGLOW conference. But yeah, so sprucies, 2 per day now, 4 in possession. So make sure you're aware of that regulation. Dan, the common snipe, now known as Wilson snipe in Minnesota, which I always kind of thought it was, but it must have been some sort of official change, probably for regulations.
He finally said, I was the guy in Home Improvement. This is me. Now I'm going to claim it.
They also extended the season on snipe. As a lot of people are aware, sometimes snipe and woodcock, they can get confused for one another. There is a size difference with the two.
Yeah.
There's also a color difference. One of my first things I look for between the two birds is barring or stripes on the head. A snipe will have a vertical bar that goes kind of from the back of the head to the front of the head, while the woodcock have bars that go side to side on the top. But my favorite thing, and I'm going to see if I can play this through my microphone. My favorite thing, probably making all sorts of noise here.
That's fun.
My favorite thing about snipe is the noise they make, because I remember, growing up hunting, and you'd hear this noise in the slough. You hear it in the spring, you hear it in the fall, and it's this wild noise, and I didn't know what it was for a long, long time. Whoop, I got to start it over. Maybe.
Technology's hard.
I can't start it over.
Hang on.
Here. I'd hear that, and I'd be like, what the heck?
Safety click.
What is going on? And it's a snipe. And while they do make some whistling or peeping noises, stuff like that, that noise is actually made by their feathers.
No kidding.
As they fly.
Huh.
So it's a territorial noise. It's also a breeding or mating type noise. It's used by males and females in different situations. According to allaboutbirds.org, air
blizzards.
there's a sound of air rushing right there.
Oh, that was a bathroom. I was really hoping that was his ice cream machine.
Air rushing over the Wilson snipe's outspread tail feathers creates the haunting hoo 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 winnowing sound, described as similar to the call of an eastern screech owl.
It sounded like Michael Jackson there for a second.
Hee hee. The sound is usually produced as the birds dive, but can also be generated when the bird levels out. Following a dive, males perform the winnowing flight to defend territory and attract mates. Females also winnow prior to breeding, but stop as soon as they begin to nest, because that probably alerts predators to their location, would be my guess.
That sound is very synonymous with sitting in a duck slough half hour before shooting time and just hanging out watching the world wake up. And I'd like to point out I've made 4 pop culture references today. That's like 4 more I've ever made in my life. Ever.
Because for a guy that doesn't watch TV or
it's
movies
pretty good.
or listen to music,
I do.
Maybe listen to a little music, I guess. But the more you know, courtesy of the Fish Hunt Forever show here at the AGLOW Conference 2025 in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. You can follow along with content being created by all the members of AGLOW by using some of the hashtags or checking out aglowoutdoors.com or AGLOW on Facebook and Instagram. This is a collection of outdoor content creators, so writers, podcasters, TV hosts, also tourism destinations, brands. We've met, I've obviously seen a lot of old friends here, but also made some new ones this year. And we got to do some fishing on a new lake.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. We both grew up in the Twin Cities. I never really know what's in Eau Claire, even though we were so close. Besides the college, had a bunch of people from high school went to college here, family went to college here. Didn't really think about the hunting and fishing opportunities.
You're much older dad than me.
Yeah.
My brother, who's much older than me, went to college here.
He did not.
Menominee.
Yep,
close to
he
here.
definitely did not. He went to Stout.
Yeah,
That's
20 miles from
You just offended him greatly by saying he went to Eau Claire. Anyways,
this area.
Yeah, it's close, but I never really thought of this as being like an outdoor destination. You know, there's some rivers flowing around, and fishing was actually pretty good. It was better than I expected it to be. I went muskie fishing, and so I had a great day of muskie fishing. We saw 4 fish.
Yeah.
We had one boat side. It was real little. Guy I was with, Kevin, he had one topwater bite that he missed, and it was a nice fish. So they were here, and we only had a few short hours. So for a morning of muskie fishing, that was pretty good. And the lake was prettier than I expected.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
I feel like we're kind of in the gateway to both eastern Wisconsin and northern Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You know, we know northern Wisconsin's beautiful, full of hunting and fishing opportunities, and I feel like we're just right on the fringe of that in a nice central location to be going north and grouse hunting or deer hunting.
Central Wisconsin actually is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it like deceptively.
Yeah.
You've almost. It's surprisingly when you drive, even when you drive through like on 94, going from west to east, you go through a lot of hills
Big
and
deer
trees
country.
and rivers. It is a really neat landscape, and we went in. There was a lot of like little feeder creeks and rivers coming off. So there's going to be some really cool footage in a video. We did some filming on the lake, and we put a muskie in the boat. We put a bunch of decent pike in the boat. A couple of really nice smallmouth. We caught a crappie, and we caught 2 walleyes.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was fishing the same way.
Yeah.
For the most part, in some of the same areas.
There's everything here. We saw some sturgeon jump, some big sturgeon. Some Joe Henry caught a flathead catfish.
Flathead.
There's some channels. So it's a river system, right? So there's sheephead in here, and that's fun. River systems are fun. Bless you.
Excuse me.
And I like fishing rivers just because of that. You could throw a Ned rig around, or a jig and a minnow, or a flipping jig, or something, a spinner bait, and catch all sorts of fish. And not just bass, not just walleye. So it's really fun. Cool area.
So watch for that footage on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel, and follow along with us on AGLOW's social media channels. And this conference, as I said, puts media content creators in and puts us in outdoor destinations, and also pairs us up with tourism destinations and brands. And we're going to try to grab some of those people to find out about some of the new outdoor products. Like we saw some pretty cool stuff here the other day.
Might spend some money.
Yeah, tonight's the auction, which is
I told myself no more guns.
we bought some stuff on the auction in the last couple of years. And then the AIC Awards will be coming up on Thursday night. So it's a great time. If you want to work in the outdoor industry, consider joining AGLOW. And we'll talk to some fellow AGLOW members when we come back.
Sick of eating tag soup? It's time to own your odds this fall with OnX Hunt, the GPS hunting app trusted by millions of hunters. Now you'll have access to nationwide public and private land ownership information, waypoints, optimal win for each stand, tracks, and much more. All at your fingertips. Go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code SJR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your membership. That's code SJR20.
Trent Marsh joins us right now. Trent, we'll talk about Riton, but we'll talk about the conference too. You just came out of a seminar, I suppose we call it?
Yeah, well, it was the kickoff panel, so today's the heavy session day. So we did the kickoff affiliate marketing panel just now.
Affiliate marketing, I mean, it's been around for a while. I think some people are still trying to figure it out, still learning about it. I'm still learning about it a little bit. It's really become a big part of today's world, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's, I've been doing this for a couple years now, and when I got here, print's going away because of digital, and then digital's changing because it's going to social, and now social has morphed into affiliate, and it's just the next evolution. But the way that we interact, we all walk around with these supercomputers in our pocket, and it's so tied to influencer marketing. We could do an hour just on that, but for as behind as our industry is sometimes, I always point out that we were doing influencer marketing before anybody called it influencer marketing. The bow companies have had local pro staffers for years. The fishing companies have had local pro staffers for years. So we were doing it. We just didn't know that we were doing it. And then the way that we used it kind of bottomed out. And as other people caught on to it, then it's morphed into affiliate. And now we're kind of backfilling. But yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's a challenging topic. It's something that a lot of people are still, not necessarily fully understanding, but it's fun to talk about.
Well, there's a lot of aspects to it. I mean, even something as simple as, like Amazon. We have an affiliate account with Amazon right now, so it's just kind of, know how much you can really make doing stuff like that, but if you really are growing and getting bigger, there's a lot of directions you can go, and obviously it's an important topic right now because that was a full room in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's I always say I'm not anti-affiliate, I'm anti-snake oil. And just like anything, when you have something new, there's a lot of people pouring honey in other folks' ear. This is how you're going to be able to quit your job and retire to Turks and Caicos. You're just going to post 3 Amazon links a day and you're going to be a millionaire. Like, that's not how it really works.
Right.
But then from the same standpoint, I approach it from not just, because I'm a content creator, I'm a freelance content creator, but I'm also a marketing manager. So I kind of have to ride both sides of the fence there. There's a lot of companies being told, okay, well, if you want to blow your company up, all you got to do, just start an affiliate program and away you go. Right. And it's not true for the brands that way either. So there's just a lot to parse through. There's no, we had a couple really good conversations in there, a couple different directions. There's no, you talk about it in a broad brush way, but what works for one brand in the month of September, might not even work for that brand in the month of March, but it certainly isn't going to work in another category. We have people from hunting brands, fishing brands, shooting brands. We have destinations. We have content creators on YouTube. We have audio-only podcasters. We've got just traditional print writers. And you try to talk about affiliate in a way that works for all of those people at the same time. That's tough because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Honestly, it is less one-size-fits-all than something like print or radio or television has been in the past. It has to be a lot more refined and a lot more honed into a strategy that makes sense. So it like I said, we could talk about it for hours.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many aspects to it now, and we had Dan Donovan on right before you, and we just talked about just the way content is put out nowadays. You had traditional media for a long time. I mean, growing up, you have 5 TV channels, stations, or whatever. Now it's a million channels. It's YouTube. It's TikTok. It's social media. It's there's so many areas you can go, and we've mentioned this before too. That all of a sudden will be like, "Oh, you do a YouTube show? Yeah. Well, do you know this guy? Never heard of him." And we go onto his YouTube channel, he's got 1.5 million subscribers. It's sometimes you can be so big and still be completely invisible to a big part of the planet.
100%.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and it's the same. I mean, again, so yeah, I do some freelance writing, and I think I'm a little bit of a content creator, but I do the marketing thing full time. And yeah, everybody expects you to know every YouTube channel out there. It's like there is not enough time in the day to do that, and a lot of what I consume on a daily basis, because everybody thinks they want to work in the industry, right? Because I like to hunt and fish.
Yeah.
But that just means that when I'm not at work, I need to find something else to consume, because as much as you think you can do it every day, you have to have something else. If you don't have something else, you're just going to go absolutely crazy. So a lot of what I consume on a daily basis isn't what replacement level Northeast Indiana hunter consumes for this, because I'm consuming so much of that other stuff through the course of the day. So trying to keep up, and especially as quick as platforms evolve. And like you said, growing up, we had traditional television, maybe cable or satellite, right? So there were like 3 channels to go and find Bill Dance or Realtree Road Trip. There was only so many places. Now you have YouTubers that got their start on TikTok. Well, if you're not on TikTok, then how do you know that they're on, unless they just stumble into your algorithm, or people that have come up through socials? We still have a super strong traditional element to it, and so many of them are like a good marketing strategy. Good content is omni-channel too. If you are, I'm just an Instagram guy, that's wrong. Well, I'm just a YouTube girl, that's wrong. Because if you're doing good content, it works across multiple platforms. You don't have to be on all of them, but you can certainly look at it and go, okay, if this is my primary, here's 3 or 4 others that I can do almost without even trying, just by what I'm doing for my primary. So it's a lot, but it's also fun.
Yeah, everybody's got their favorites, but we try to be everywhere. That's one thing we always say. Like we are on traditional, we're on broadcast radio and TV, but we're also on all the podcast downloadables for audio. We're also on YouTube with a video. We also have vlogs. We have films. We have Dan has the TikTok because I don't want to do the TikTok.
I too. I've decided that I'm too old for another social media account.
Gosh.
I'm just not going to do it.
It's so hard to, and and what ends up happening is you make one reel and then it goes on TikTok, it goes on YouTube as a short, it goes on Instagram, and it's the same one. And then you end up having people that follow you on those platforms going, well, I've already seen this one, so they skip it. Well, then that ruins your algorithm, shuts you down. Like you almost have to build new content or tweak it a little bit so it's a little bit different on each platform. And, maybe that's why they have, college girls managing social media channels, because they have the time to do all those things, because I don't.
And they've got there's shortcuts for everything. It's hard enough for me to try to learn a new social platform at this point. I've just decided I am too old to try to learn the ins and outs. But, because I was right on the leading edge of that social media element. Like I've made the joke before. I graduated college in 2006. You still needed a .edu to be on Facebook.
Oh, right. Yep.
I've been a professional marketer now for 15 years. My degree wasn't in advertising, it was in business, and there was exactly zero about social media that was part of what would be considered my formal training.
Right.
And that's literally what drives so much of it now, that we're just in one of those phases where there's a big sea change, and it's a lot to digest.
It's tough, and especially for guys that have been in the outdoor media industry, especially if you're an outdoor writer that's been, writing was king. I mean, our organization, AGLOW, been around 70 years, is built on outdoor writers, and now in the last few years, obviously, there's been the heavy emphasis on creating a more inclusive content creator type approach with it, because you have to these days. You
100%.
have to be everywhere.
Yeah,
So
we've added we have our awards tomorrow night, and there's still a newspaper award. We also have podcast and video awards, and the video doesn't have to be on Outdoor Channel or Sportsman or PBS 27 out of Dubuque. It can be.
I think we're on that station.
I believe. Is it? I hope it's 27 in Dubuque. I don't want I don't want you to get any nasty grams from Dubuque, because I don't know the PBS station there. But it's about recognizing all of those channels, because again, good communication, good marketing is omnidirectional, and recognizing that there are still fantastic content creators that, while newspapers are going away, they aren't gone. Let's not pretend that something is extinct before it is. There's still great content finding their way into those pages, just as there is in podcasts and videos. And we were, as a media organization, as a writers organization, we were absolutely one of them at the forefront of saying, this is a viable channel, this is the direction this is going, this is not less than. Let's reward and recognize those folks that are creating that good content and bring them into the fold, just like we have, those that have come before us.
Yeah. Well, it's, and that's what I like about this organization, because we're here learning about, new best practices and new, affiliate marketing and different things. And for people that are trying to break into it or trying to start up one of those new avenues that they haven't traditionally been a part of, obviously, that's something you can learn here at this 100%. Conference. And we're here in Eau Claire. We're going to jump in some go-karts, I think, later.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. There's a water park. It's an interesting venue for an outdoor conference. It's been great, though, because it obviously has the space for us to do all the things that we need to do. It's got a place to grab a beer, grab some food, and go-karts. And a Dairy Queen. Dan is jacked about
There's a Dairy Queen. There's a zip line. There's all the things.
Did you see how high that zip line goes?
I did. I don't think we're doing any of the outdoor activities, which is fine. But yeah, I didn't bring my hunter safety system, so I don't think I'll be traversing to the top of it. And it was funny when this was kind of presented as the location, the Metropolis Resort here in Eau Claire. But we have full run of this facility this week, because they're on kind of a break week anyway. But yeah, it's literally one of these. Yeah, there's an arcade and a go-kart track indoors. There's an indoor water park. But I came here with my family as we were on our way to Lake of the Woods. This was our stopover from coming up. So stopped in here and stayed, and it was great. The boys were able to, they were playing the water park, and we hit the arcade for a while, and everybody was happy. And it's, we did this, but we also spent 4 hours on Lake Wissota yesterday,
Yeah,
and
we caught a pile of fish.
We caught catfish, muskies, pike, smallmouth, crappie, bluegill.
We caught walleyes.
Walleye, that's the one I forgot.
There was a flathead catfish, channel cat, a
yep.
couple flatheads, I think,
Yep.
some channels.
Yep.
And,
I'm big on, because people always ask, okay, we work in the outdoor space, so okay, all you do is just run around and you get to hunt and you get to shoot and you and that's no, because there's the work that has to get done. But also, like, I've got 2 young boys, they're 6 and 8, and I've never been the guy that is going to say, nope, sorry, babe, we're not taking a family vacation this summer. I need those vacation days for the rut. That's not who I am. Not that there's anything wrong with being that.
That's why you don't shoot big deer, Trent.
But I do. Just not for it's not that I don't shoot big deer, it's that I shoot like 1 big deer every 7 years and then don't do anything for 7 years. But that's why locations like Eau Claire are so cool, because you could absolutely get a non-resident turkey tag, come up to Eau Claire, take your family to somewhere like this. Doesn't mean that you can't sneak away for a morning and get some turkey hunting in a couple days while you're here, or drag your boat up here and just hammer Lake Wissota for 2 or 3 days and still be at a location where your family isn't going, I don't want to fish anymore, Dad. This is boring. Like, you can do a little bit of everything, and that's what's so awesome about conferences. We always get to see a little bit of that too, so that it's not just, all right, you're gonna go to a spike camp in northwest Wyoming and there's nothing to do here, and if you're not here to kill an antelope or a mule deer, you would hate this. We are in locations where we can see everything that there is to do. The outdoor adventure is absolutely a significant part of why we're here. But we've got, I don't know, there's 12 or 15 spouses that come along. We've got, there's folks that brought their whole family. Yeah, they got on a trolley to go. It's great to show that we can enjoy the outdoors and also do all of these other things in these great destinations, because we have to recognize that hunters and anglers are still a relatively small percentage of the population. So where can we go where everybody else is going and still scratch our itch?
Well, Lake Wissota surprised me. You know, lakes within metro areas sometimes get a lot of pressure. You know, it's more recreational. We weren't quite sure it's part of a river system. We weren't quite sure what to expect. And we went out there with, honestly, low expectations and had exceeded those expectations way more than I expected to. And part of that was we caught some nice smallmouth, which were a lot of fun. And we caught smallies, pike, and walleyes. And honestly, muskie doing the same thing, pretty much casting weed edges. So when you can catch walleyes and muskies in the same place, essentially doing the same thing, that's pretty special. And you may not, I mean, there are some nice muskies in there, some mid-40s, but just for the fact that a few of us came to town, went out for 4 hours, and there was a couple muskies put in the boat. Like, some people go their whole lives without catching them.
And we had, I think we boated 88 fish that were recorded into Fish Donkey that hosted our tournament.
And we didn't record a lot of ours. So
we didn't record any of ours. So let's just say it was 150 fish among 50-ish contestants, right? You're out there for 4 hours. The weather was not, those were not the conditions that you would hope. You know, we were kind of on the backside of a front, and it was kind of wonky and weird, and they had shut the fishing. Talking to our guide, the fishing had been better the night before because it had rained all weekend, and they had the dam open, so they had good flow. So especially like the walleye or the smallies were just stacked. There's a lot of boulders as you get up the river out of the main lake into the river. They were just stacked up behind these boulders, and we just drag a swim bait behind these boulders, and there's 4 or 5 fish behind all of them. Well, they turned the dam off overnight, so that flow was gone, spread all those fish back out. And yeah, it's a river system lake, but we're still at kind of that awkward time of the year. I don't think we were really having a lake turnover, but it's been warm. The water was warm, so a lot of it was slowed down. We had 19-inch smallmouth boated. We had 19-inch walleye boated. We had 30-plus-inch catfish boated. Like, that's for a 4-hour just running out to have a little fun for that. Not just the quantity of fish, but for the quality of fish to be caught. It was good.
We had a great day.
That speaks to the fishery in a fantastic way.
Now, it was fun, and it was it was nice to be able to pair up some outdoor opportunities with the learning and the networking. And, you know, like we were sitting around the bonfire like we do every year at this conference, and, you know, having maybe a cold beverage. And it was me, you, and Jeremy Mallette the other night, and said, hey, you guys should come on the podcast because, I wanted to have you on anyway to talk about AGLOW and the conference and right on. But did you see what Jeremy brought to what he had at the breakout the other day? The chassis for
Yeah, I saw it at SHOT Show this year.
Oh, did you?
And yeah, that's
pretty wild.
It absolutely is. It's so much fun.
So we'll talk to him about that. But what do you want to talk about for Right On? What do you got going on?
So 2025 has been kind of quiet. 2024 was super busy.
Yeah.
You know, we launched like 9 new SKUs over the course of 12 weeks, basically through early October. So a lot of what we did in 24 is still new to a lot of folks. So we revamped our dot line. We brought in some additional binoculars, our 3 Series binos that are fantastic. They're non-ED bino, kind of in that upper to lower $300 price point. But rather than a polycarbonate body that you typically see there, we kept those in a magnesium alloy chassis. So a little bit more rugged, a little bit more robust. And then for this year, the main product that we launched is our 5 Primal 3 to 18 crossover scope. So it is, you know, Riton's roots are very much on that precision, tactical, long range route, and we've been pushing more into the hunting market, and specifically the whitetail market over the last few years. And what we did was we took all of those learnings from our long range and our precision roots, and we brought them into the hunting category because, you know, we've heard bow hunters talk about for years, I would never shoot a deer at 80 or 100 yards, but I will practice at 80 or 100 yards to make that 40-yard shot a chip shot. But then gun hunters say, well, I can only shoot to 250 yards at my farm, so I'm just going to sight in for 250 and I'm going to call it a day. Well, then you're always working at your maximum, right? But as the 6.5 Creedmoor has gotten more popular, as rifles and ammo and optics have all improved, just the baseline for accuracy has come up so much. We're seeing more and more people spend time at those ranges near them that are 500-yard ranges or 1,000-yard ranges. But it also presents a little bit of a problem because what you've got now is, well, I put my 3 to 9 or I put my 4 to 12 on my hunting scope. How can I go to the range? And, you know, I've got a Ruger Gen 2 in 6.5 Creedmoor. Out of the box, it's a 1,000-yard rifle. You might not be a 1,000-yard shooter, but that's a 1,000-yard rifle. And for folks that want to start to flex that muscle and build that muscle, for a lot of years, you still had to choose an optic that was either a 5 to 25 Delta Navy green, like the sniper scope, or I can find a 4 to 12 that's okay. So what we wanted to do was build a scope that was every bit the crossover that those rifles and those calibers are. So it's a little bit heavier chassis. It's a 34 millimeter chassis because we wanted that additional light management, especially when you're talking long range. But we capped those target turrets so that you don't have to worry about the adjustments through it. And then we put a reticle in there. It's a first focal plane scope, so your reticle is going to change size on 3 power, which is where it should always be when you're sitting in the tree anyway. It just looks like a simple duplex cross. It illuminates. So it's great. You can, if you're inside, 60, 50, 60 yards, you just keep that on 3, put it right on them, and away you go. But as you turn the magnification up, we built this reticle. We took some of our other first focal plane kind of long distance reticles and we stripped them out a little bit. So all the functionality is still there, but it's just not quite as busy. So for a hunting application, if you do have an opportunity for 3, 4, 500-yard shots, you have all the reticle that you need to do it. And through the summer months, if you can shoot 200 at your farm, you should be practicing at 400 and 500 yards to make that 200-yard shot a chip shot. Now you have the reticle that you don't feel like when you go to the range in the summer to get some long-range trigger time, you have to sacrifice or give up your ability to stretch that out because the optic can't do what you want it to do.
Sure. Well, I don't know if you saw that picture or not, but I've got a video coming out here this fall pretty soon of me shooting that buck, and you're going to see some Riton gear in there.
Nice.
And he was probably only about 25 yards away. And so.
But you'd never known if he was there if it wasn't for those Riton Optics.
Yeah, that's right. He kind of surprised me though. I didn't expect him to be that close. But yeah, so
I have been there.
yeah, it worked out pretty well. So I appreciate that.
Was that a bow kill or was that a rifle kill?
It was a rifle kill.
Rifle kill.
Yeah.
And that, so I kind of said it jokingly before, but this is like Trent's optical tip corner, right? When you walk into the woods, that rifle scope should be on the lowest magnification setting that you can put it on. Because we all, if we are lucky enough to not be the idiot that this has happened to, we know the idiot that this has happened to, where they've got their scope cranked all the way up and they're walking into their stand in an afternoon hunt and a 150 jumps out of that fence row 25 yards away.
Right.
You bring your rifle up and all you see is wheat heads or corn stubble, and just maybe you get a flash of brown and you've got no shot at getting a shot off. He might even be stopped, but you've got a deer 12 yards away and you're trying to look at him on 15 power, and it's not going to happen for you. So I had a very similar thing happen. We talked about it. I kill one good deer every 7 years or so. The buck I killed in 2020, just shy of 180 inches, and the exact same thing happened. He snuck in straight behind me on the rifle opener and got as close as 11 yards, took a look at me, couldn't figure out what I was. Apparently I just looked like a big fat raccoon hanging on the side of a tree. And he nosed right over to that thicket where the does were, and I shot him at 16 yards with a 30-30 lever action. And
sweet.
If I would have had that turned up to 8, there's absolutely no way that could have happened the way that it did. So it's an important thing to remember. Keep that magnification turned down when you're in the field. You always have time to turn it up. You can't take a 400-yard running shot anyway, or you shouldn't.
Right.
But you'll never have time to turn it down. If you need less magnification, they're too close, you can't afford the movement, and they're just, it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Riton Optics, RITON, ritonoptics.com. Trent, it's been a good conference. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Now is the time to start thinking about chasing big walleyes on Devil's Lake. Get on the fish at Haybale Heights Campground and Resort. Haybale Heights makes it easy for you to make memories on legendary Devil's Lake with guided fishing and lodging packages. Or bring your own boat and rent one of their cabins on East Bay. Haybale Heights offers a private marina, fish cleaning station, and the opportunity to relax and enjoy your bucket list trip to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. To book your trip, visit haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com.
All right, next, Jeremy Mallette joins us. Recover Tactical is the company. We're here at the AGLOW conference in Eau Claire, and one of the cool things we do at this conference every year is something called the speed dating with corporate and tourism partners, and we go around the room, we spend a couple of minutes talking, we say, hey, we need to talk more about what you have and what you can do, and it's a great way to match up media people and people like you. And then after that, we spent a little bit more time talking, and we came around to you, and you were kind of explaining what you had and what you were going to show us, and it's like, you just need to come back later and see it, because that's going to make sense more when you can see it, and that's exactly what happened. And I know you've had this reaction with a number of people, but when you tell us about what you had, and then when we saw it, it's like, your head kind of explodes. So explain what it is that you showed us.
So like I said, we could talk about this for an hour and people still wouldn't understand until they actually see the product in their hand. But basically, we make chassis systems and stabilizers for pistols. So there you go. You can see it right there.
I don't know how well that'll show up on camera, but maybe we'll throw some B-roll in, maybe not. Maybe this will work. We'll find out. But
so your pistol that you have drops in, and it essentially converts it into a rifle. But it's not a rifle because it has a brace on it.
Okay.
So it doesn't change the classification. It doesn't make it an SBR. There's no tax stamp or anything like that. It's still classified as a pistol. It's still legal to shoot with. You're not going to get in trouble with the ATF or anybody like that. But everybody can shoot a rifle better than a pistol.
Right.
I don't care who you are. If I hand you a pistol and say, hey, shoot this 6-inch target at 100 yards, right? You might hit it a couple of times, but you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
But if I hand you a rifle and say, hey, shoot this 6-inch target at 100 yards, bing, 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 right? So that's really the idea. But it gives you a small, compact platform to have 3 points of contact for your pistol.
So And just having those points of contact is going to make you more accurate just based on stability. But when you start talking about like barrel length and things like that, you're still getting more accuracy doing this.
Yeah, so you still use the barrel length of your pistol, right? So people say, well, it's only a 3.5-inch barrel, right? Well, if you look at a 3.5-inch 9mm barrel, and you look at the velocity between that and a 16-inch barrel, there's very, very minor gains that you get from going to a 16-inch barrel. So why would you not have the mobility and compactness and maneuverability of having a short barrel versus going to a full-size rifle, right? It just makes sense, right? So keep it small. It doesn't matter. And so you gain 150 feet per second. Who cares? Like, you know, you're not using it for an application where that 150 feet per second is going to make any difference whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, and you have a couple of different models, and you were showing us like how they work and how they open up and how they fold up and this and that. And then you took one and holstered it.
Correct.
Which I thought was pretty wild.
Yeah, so that's the whole concept is we have 3 different models. We have one that's very small that goes down that fits in our holster. We have the mid-size model here, the S Pro, which is our newest one, you know, which gives you a little bit longer length of pull. And then we have one that we call our AR platform. That's called the Pix. And so the gun is completely enclosed in it. It's kind of a Scorpion MP5 size. You know, it's essentially an AR9, right? But it uses your pistol instead of proprietary parts. So a lot of guys, if we're talking in the outdoor space, they will use our first one, the 2020, and they'll put like a 10mm Glock in it. Then they can holster it on their side, and now they have something when they go into bear country that they have essentially a 10mm rifle on their hip.
Yeah.
With 15 rounds of ammo and then an extra mag storage, so they have 30 rounds of 10mm on their hip.
I thought that was kind of nice too, because there's extra mag storage on all those models, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Every single model has extra mag storage. So the Pix holds 3 magazines.
Yeah.
So if you're using extended mags, you have 100 rounds of ammo on the gun.
That's wild.
The other 2, the 2020 and the S Pro, they hold 2 extra mags. You know, one in the gun and one in the front. They're all optic compatible. You can put optics on it. If you want to run like a scope, you can put a scope on the Pix, you know, because it's got a full length rail across the top. Most people just run like red dots.
Yeah.
But once you shoot them and once you use them, your speed, your accuracy, the distance you can shoot goes up exponentially. Again, it's just like, think about, you've got a pistol, you've got 1 point of contact. Now you've got a rifle, you've got 3 points of contact. So it really changes the game as far as that goes. And they don't cost a fortune. It starts at $99.
Yeah, to turn it into a rifle. Basically.
Exactly.
You mentioned the amount of different combinations you can actually have with different accessories. What was that number?
So on the 2020, our original one, we have 12 different accessories for it.
Okay.
So if you don't include the firearms that are compatible with it, if you just say like, what accessory combinations can I do? There's over 4,000 different combinations.
That's pretty crazy. So someone can find something that works for their particular application.
Yeah, exactly. Primarily, we work with Glocks, like all of our platforms work with Glocks. With the S Pro, we're expanding out into multiple other firearms. So we have Glock, SIG, Canik, Walthers, and we're adding more each month, and there will be a very robust catalog of firearms that fit in there. And as you saw, it takes about 5 seconds to drop it in.
Yeah, it's quick. And we've got video footage of that. It's either going to be in here or one of our other videos or on the AGLOW stuff somewhere. We've got some footage that we'll be showing. Where did this idea come from, and is there anything else like it out there?
Good question. So a little bit of background about Recover Tactical. So Recover Tactical started 15 years ago, based in Israel. Everything is designed, developed, and manufactured in Israel. So our designer actually developed the Tavor for IWI, if you're familiar with that, the Israeli rifle that they use in their military. And the idea of the pistol stabilizer is not anything new.
Right.
The Germans did it in World War II with the Lugers and the stock that attached to it, and it gave them a little rifle from their Luger, you know? So this is not a new concept. It's been around for almost 100 years, right? But what we did is we said, let's use modern polymers and make it in a modern facility and create something that can be used by security, police, military, in the harshest environments around the world, and make it easy for people to use. Now, as I say, they're a lot of fun at the range to play with. You know, they're a lot of fun there, but they're designed to see actual use in the field in scenarios where your life depends on these things.
So they're durable.
100%. Yeah, it's made out of 30% glass polymer. It's injected molded. And yeah, it's the same material as the frame of like a Glock is made out of.
Didn't you say that you told somebody to try to break it and I'll give you a free one or something like that?
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like people want to, whenever I'm demoing them, people want to be like real gentle with them. I'm going to sling them around and banging them around. And I say, yeah, if you can break it, I'll give you one.
Yeah.
You know, we had one of the writers come up and they were playing with it yesterday. And she was being real gentle with it, and I said, "Here, if you don't mind." So I took it from her, and we're standing on a concrete floor, and I threw it down on the ground. So I'm like, I've got faith in this product.
Wow.
And we've tested it, and we've used it, and different agencies around the world depend on this, so it has to work.
So you mentioned Glock, and that you're going to expand to some other brands and other guns. So right now, mainly what handgun is compatible?
So we've got
handguns.
1911s, single stack 1911s, all Glocks. If you have a Glock, we have something that fits it.
Okay.
We have Canic TP9s and Metes, Walther PDPs. We're fixing to launch one for the SIG 365X Macro. We've got a lot more coming. I wish I could tell you all the cool stuff that we have in the works, but we've got some really cool stuff coming up. A lot of that will be launching at SHOT Show in January.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like to see 20 different firearms that we're compatible with by the end of next year.
And is this something that you're ordering off the website? Can you go get your hands on them somewhere?
Yeah, so we have gun stores can become dealers, so they can sign up and become dealers, so you might find at your local gun store. We have different online retailers that you can find it at as well, but you can also go to recovertactical.com and order direct from us. They're not firearms, so they can ship directly to your door.
Okay. And are they customizable colors? Is there certain colors you can get, or? Yeah,
so we have black and FDE for right now, flat dark earth. There might be some more colors coming in the future.
There we go. Well, we'll look forward to hearing more about them. It's a cool product, and I said as soon as I saw him, I was like, Dan, we got to have this guy on the podcast talk about this because it's pretty neat. So
yeah, well, we're going to send you some stuff too, so then you can go out and play with it.
Well, there you go. I like it. I know we got the range day too that we're going to go out and play around with them while we're out here in Eau Claire. So it's good to see you here at the AGLOW conference once again, Jeremy, and thanks for being on the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
There we go. Nice.
It's an awesome experience.
Fishing was really good. We got in a super monster bite.
That is a great way to start the trip off right there.
Tasman Lake is one of the places that has been on my bucket list for a long time, and watched every Tasman TV episode there is.
Incredible, incredible to see fish like that. Incredible to, fish water where you have the chance to catch fish like that.
Danny, that's the biggest trout you'll ever fight in your life.
Wow, this is a nice one.
Watch Tasman TV and book your trip at TasmanLake.com. If you want to catch a big walleye, go where the big walleyes are. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world, with a variety of resorts and lodging facilities offering full-service fishing. Lake of the Woods is also home to sturgeon, sauger, perch, trophy pike, muskie, smallmouth bass, burbot, and more. Plan your trip to Lake of the Woods today. Go to lakeofthewoodsmn.com. That's lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
All right, Joe Henry from Lake of the Woods Tourism joins us right now. We're here at the AGLOW conference. Joe, it's going well.
Tell you what, it's going nice. We got a lot of sharp people here, don't we?
We do.
We have a lot of talent here from all over the nation, all sorts of media, companies, outdoor organizations. I mean, it's really cool.
It's been hard to record this podcast because we're just too busy talking to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun because we're seeing old friends, of course, but meeting new ones. And then even like Justin Morrissey was just standing here with us. And, you know, this is about the only time we get to see him each year. You know these people a lot of times on social media, but it's good to catch up. And then, you know, we just started with getting caught up, and then we started talking about strategies and what to do. And when you're at events like this, how can you keep it growing?
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, we had give an example. You know, we had a great breakfast today. You know, you have all these different sponsors like ASA, the American Sport Fishing Association, people that are getting it done in the outdoor industry. And to be able to rub elbows with those people is pretty incredible. We actually had a tourism meeting where a number of destinations got together and just compared notes about, you know, what are you doing in your market, how are you best utilizing outdoor media, what are the opportunities that you're not taking advantage of, things like that.
Is that what because we were watching you through the glass. You guys were in the bar having this meeting. I didn't see a lot of work getting done in there, John. No,
well, you know
I'm
what?
Kidding. No.
We didn't have the cocktail
The bar wasn't open
but
yet.
I will say part of the AGLOW culture is normally there's some kind of a happy hour or reception pretty early in the day, isn't there?
Yeah, well, late afternoon.
Yes.
Late afternoon. We'll clarify. A lot of work gets done, but we do have a good time, and it's a fun crew. And yeah, that is part of the you know, one of the best things about this is you do get to spend time with your peers in the industry and say, hey, well, is this working for you? You know, we're thinking about doing this, or how can we work together, or whatever. It gives you the opportunity to grow in the outdoor space. So, you know, we say this all the time. If you're out there wanting to work in the outdoor industry, you need to meet people. You need to sit down, maybe over a beer, the old napkin deal. But this is a great place to do it. You know, each year you can come out here and meet people and grow and learn how to do some things. And we've got more events coming up. We got to do a little bit of fishing here, and then last night we had the Golden Glows out here, and Paul and Brandy Johnson were recognized.
Paul and Brandy Johnson of Riverbend Resort were the Golden Glow Organization of the Year, and really a very, very prestigious honor, and really has to do with not only the good job they do at Riverbend Resort up on the Rainy River, but also the welcoming experience they provide. They make people feel like they're family, and they've been part of AGLOW since we had the conference up at Lake of the Woods back in 2017. And but as you know Paul and Brandy very well. You've been to their resort. That's where the SGR 500's
That's right.
based out of. You know, I mean, it's
best fishing tournament in the world.
Yeah,
I'm a little biased.
I learned one thing from that AI song you made. If you want to catch a big fish, you have to go where the big fish are.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. You know where that is?
Lake of
Lake
the Woods,
of the
baby.
Woods and the Rainy River.
Yeah, Rivar.
Rivar. Yeah, I think it needs to be changed. Like the Gulf of America was changed. We're gonna get it. We're gonna have Trump change it to the Rainy River up there now at Lake of the Woods.
Yeah, I think you already have. I don't think we need Mr. Trump.
yeah, Canada might have something to say about that too, I suppose. But and great people. You know, we stay there all the time now, and it was right after that you had the conference up there at Lake of the Woods, and Paul and Brandy joined up there, and then I think was it 2019 the Cast and Blast, or was it 2018?
Not sure.
I can't remember, but you've been. Every week on this show, you're like, you got to join AGLOW, Bret. You got to join AGLOW, and you and Dan got to be a part of this. And then you said, hey, we're going to do this Cast and Blast event at Lake of the Woods. Come up, we'll do some fishing, we'll do some goose hunting, and we'll stay at Riverbend. And that's where I met Paul and Brandy for the first time. We shot a bunch of geese, we caught a bunch of walleyes, and I said, okay, I'll do this again. Well, come on. And that was my introduction to AGLOW, and I've been a member ever since.
Well, not only have you been a member, but you do work for AGLOW now. You do really good work for AGLOW. And
it's okay.
Not only that, I mean, look at the contacts that you've made, the people that you've met through AGLOW that have, maybe you've done business with them, maybe they're just colleagues, maybe they're outdoors people from across the nation that you've had a chance to meet, right? I mean, and look at the locations you traveled.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
You know, networking and we sat around the fire last night talking about this. Networking is the name of the game. And, you know, the beauty of AGLOW is you've got, you know, some of the younger content creators that are out here doing stuff on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. And then you've got some of the writers. I mean, AGLOW goes back 70 years and originally an outdoor writer group that has since expanded to include content creators and podcasters and so forth, new media. But to be able to bridge that gap and have that conversation about, you know, what was it like back in the day, what's it like now, and you can help each other out. But there's one common thread between somebody that was doing this 50 years ago to what, and even though the landscape's completely different now, one thing remains the same, and it's all about relationships. And it's about networking and meeting people. And that's how you grow, really, in any industry.
You know what? We still work with human beings. And, you know, the old saying, people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And, you know what? People are going to do business with people whom they like and they trust. And how do you know if you like or trust somebody unless you spend some time with them? Trust takes time. And the relationships that are built here have forged new job opportunities for people, obviously business relationships, and as we always talk about, win-wins.
Win-wins, absolutely. Well, one of the best win-win situations is putting me at Lake of the Woods, because then I get to catch big fish. And it's fall, so people are probably starting to think about rainy river fishing up there.
In fact, you know, some of our guides had mentioned that there's been more walleyes, more and more walleyes are being caught in the river. That tells me that more shiners are entering, and you know, those walleyes are falling. So we got just a really a good bite out in 17 to 27 feet of water out in that south shore. And then some of those fish are starting to go into the river too. So I just saw some photos from some of the different resorts on the river with nice catches of walleyes. So it's go time. Things are just starting to happen, but it's a fun time of the year, man. The migration's happening. People are shooting geese. People are shooting grouse. Up in the northwest angle, I mean, fishing's been bonkers. It's been so good all year. It's not only good now, but we're actually looking very forward to our ice fishing year. We think it's going to be a banner year.
Well, it's fun to even just stand on the dock in the fall when they're out there trapping those shiners with the lights on it, and you'll see these shiners just spinning in circles under the light.
Gallons just circle. They circle, and what they do is they have that light right above the water, and they got a big handle. When you pull down on that handle, there's a big umbrella net, a couple feet under the surface, 2-3 feet under the surface. The whole contraption comes up, and if you're on a good night, you got gallons and gallons of these emerald shiners. And that's actually what they use, and it's so cool too, because the culture of these bait dealers and resorters, everybody has a different recipe on how to preserve them. Some flash freeze them, and they make special racks in their freezers. Others put them in a bucket of water with canning salt. I've even heard some use vodka. I'm not kidding. They said that preserves them the best. I asked him if he ever eats a few minnows when he's out in the boat, and he didn't answer. But nonetheless, it's a neat market, but it's a cool thing, right? It's nature.
Well, every once in a while, you can sit and watch, and you'll see a walleye come up into the middle of that circle of shiners there under the lights.
That's cool.
Absolutely. All right, Joe. Well, if people are looking for a trip this fall, or maybe they're starting to think about an ice fishing trip to Lake of the Woods, what should they do?
Hey, check out our website, and that is lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
Thanks for listening to the Fish Hunt Forever show. Download the Fish Hunt Forever podcast wherever you get podcasts, or watch on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel. If you like today's show, please give us a 5-star review. Find past shows, articles, news about regulations, and more at fishhuntforever.com.